Greetings from Jim, AG6IF. Today I want to show you how to use the Chirp Live Disk. Chirp is a programming software that's free open source that can be downloaded from chirp.danplanet.com, and it works with quite a few radios, dozens of radios, and I'm going to show you. They've got an option called a live disk, and in the Linux world this is not that uncommon. It's a live disk, which means the entire operating system is on the diskette, the CD-ROM. So you can plug it into a disk drive, a CD drive, and reboot the machine. As long as the machine will boot off the CD, it'll bring up a complete working Linux system, in this case with Chirp installed, and it will not touch your hard drive. So no matter what the OS is, it's not going to be utilized on the hard drive. When you're done, you just turn the thing off, pull the disk out, and you're back to whatever system it was, whether it was Windows or whatever. The nice thing about a live CD in environment is if you've got Windows driver problems with Chirp due to the fake cables that are out there, this will eliminate it, because the Linux version of Chirp and the Macintosh version of Chirp does not try to identify the fake cables and make your life miserable with the fake cables. So anyway, so I've put the disk in the drive and I've rebooted my machine. It's a laptop. It's a Dell laptop, and it normally runs Linux, and I have Chirp installed on it anyway, but I want to show you the live disk. So we're going to make a selection here. We're going to boot the live system, the first item. There is a way to just have the live disk install itself on your hard drive, the third one down. You probably don't want to do that unless you want to build a live disk. A Linux machine specifically for Chirp. And then there's a mem test you can play around with a little bit for troubleshooting your machine if you're having a problem. But for today, we're gonna press enter on the live, boot the live system. It takes a little while to come up, so hit enter. My drive is spinning up here, and in a little bit it's going to tell us. It's going to ask us to plug in our cable. So what I have here is I've got my uv5r, and I've got a cable. I attempted to buy the real thing, but it could be a fake. I don't know. How do you know, really, to tell you the truth? I didn't pay $9 for it. I paid 20. So that's one indication that maybe you get a real one. But in any case, the fake chips they work fine even if it is a fake. So anyway, the system's booting up now. The first screen that comes up says if prompted for a username and password. It's Chirp and no password. The password is blank. So we're going to, in a second here, in a few seconds, we're going to be presented with a desktop environment with running the Chirp software. Also, when you're running a live disk, everything happens off the CD-ROM, so it's not as fast as if it were running from the hard drive. So if you've got a Windows machine with major issues with the drivers trying to use your cable, this is the way to go. And then, of course, if you want to switch it over to Linux permanently, you can install all this on there with that menu, the third menu choice coming down there. So while this gets up and running, the first thing when the next screen comes up, it's going to say, "Hey, I don't see a cable. I don't see a cable installed." So when it does that, I'm going to go ahead and plug in my cable, which is handy here. There are a lot of users of Chirp out there. There's a lot of support online. You can go to chirp.danplanet.com, danplanet.com, or you can just Google for Chirp Software. And the web page shows all the radios that they're working with currently. Quite a few of them, and more all the time. It's a volunteer effort, free open source software, and so I have had no problems. I have a Kenwood D710, works great. That would also include the D700, same platform. My uv5r and my uv3r work fine. I have a Yaesu 897, which incidentally, Chirp will allow you to fix your 60-meter frequency designations in your 897 and your 857 and your 817. Alright, your programming cable was not detected. Please ensure it's plugged in and press OK. So I'm plugging it in right now. It's in. And I'm going to press OK as instructed. Alright, it says my cable appears to be using that port. In Linux, a port is a device name, where in Windows it's a COM1, COM2, and so on. So it says it appears to be using port dev TTY USB 0. That is correct. It's the first USB port to be plugged in, so that would be right. It also, okay, once Chirp opens, click on radio and then download from radio. And this is all traditional now. This is basically, this is how you use Chirp, whether it's installed or you're running on the live disk. So we're going to go over here, press on radio, download from radio. Okay, the port, COM port in my case, is correct. Bofang uv5r. That was already in there for me. I didn't have to change it, so that must be the default option. My Bofang is turned on, and so what we're going to do here is I'm going to press OK, and it's going to get all the code. And you get a little warning message. Hit yes. All right. Radio lights on. The bar's moving, so basically it's going to look the same as Chirp, as what you'd be normally used to. All right, so I'm just going to go to full screen here, double click. Okay, here's all my channels in my uv5r, and I didn't expect anything less. That's everything that's in there. You can make changes and so on and so forth, and when you're done, what you can do is plug in a USB. So it's because it's a live disk, there's no storage, permanent storage. So what you want to do is, after you make your changes, go to File, Save As, and just plug in a USB stick into the system. It'll come up and it'll recognize it, and then you can save your data there. You know, just very conventional. Because remember, when you pull the disk out and reboot your machine, it's going to be back to where it was. There's no hard drive in play here at all. So I didn't make any changes, but we can still go through the motion here. Upload to radio, your COM port and the radio selector, and hit OK. And in this case, it's going to send this data back up. As you can see, the uv5r is flashing the green light, and the taskbar is moving across. So basically, that is all conventional. If you just have a Linux machine, or Windows for that matter, that's what Chirp normally looks like. Like the fully installed one, you can also download from Repeater Book and so on. And that's under the radio link. And you can cut and paste those repeaters and so forth right into your radio and send it up. So this is a live disk. Now that we're done, basically you can just power off your machine if you've done your save and everything. No harm. And pull the disk out, and when you reboot it, it'll be back where it was on Windows or Mac or whatever you had, or even Linux for that matter. So this is a live version of Chirp. You can download it right from the chirp.damnplanet website. I'm going to hit quit here, and so it's back. So this is basically a live version of Linux right here. Looks like it's got a toolbar at the bottom similar to Macintosh. It looks a little bit like might be familiar to some people. There's a browser. You can have it join your wireless network, and you want to play with Linux a little bit, you can do that too. It's got a little bit of functionality. It's not a full Linux distro, but it's not too bad for a live disk. It boots up quick. The other thing you can do with a live disk is, if you have a broken Windows computer that won't boot and you want to rescue your files off there, just throw the hard drive in one of those USB cases, plug it in here, and then you can drag and drop your files right off onto another hard drive. In the case of a Windows machine not wanting to boot up. So that's a live version of Chirp. To get rid of it, pop the disk out, and it may or may not pop. Okay, there it comes. And then I just downloaded it. from the website and burned an image file. And there, power this thing off. I'm just holding the power button down. It's gone. And power it back up. And it's back to what it was before I started all this. Alright, very good. Chirp Live Disc. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you get some benefit out of this. I carry one of these around with me all the time. This is Jim, AG6IF, Southern California, and my machine's coming back up like normal. It's an encrypted hard drive, of course, right? All your laptops should be encrypted, right? And I'm gonna upgrade my Linux Mint 16 to 17 momentarily. But I wanted to show you this before I did that. Thanks for watching, AG6IF.